I'm going to invite onto stage Álvaro from Hotelbeds and Philippe from Solvay. And Bas, you're going to join on the panel as well. And this is a good bit. This is where I get to grill them for 30 minutes on digital, network, security, all things business. Thank you very much for joining us. So, Álvaro, let me start with you, if I may. Why don't you give us a couple of minutes of introduction to yourself, your company, and the industry that your company operates in?
I work for, I'm CTO of Hotelbeds. You probably don't know us because we are a B2B provider. We're a wholesaler in travel distribution. Basically, what we do is we connect, we have a lot of people that go around the world contracting rates with different hotels. And when you go to one of the main websites, an online travel agent, like it could be Expedia or Booking or any of these, basically they will connect to our platform and to a lot of other platforms like us. And basically whoever responds the quickest with the best availability and price, then gets the sale. We have 5,000 people, 5,000 employees now. Our revenue is around 7.5 billion. We are number one in the industry, and we recently acquired number 2 and number 3. So we are basically consolidating the market, which was going to happen anyway, so we decided to do it ourselves.
Excellent. Philippe, can I ask you the same?
So my name is Philippe Panis, so I'm in charge of the infrastructure services for the Solvay Group. Solvay is an industrial corporation, developing mainly the last years in specialties. You may have heard about the initiative called Solar Impulse. Solvay was a very early sponsor of that initiative. So we are distributed in 50 countries in the world, yearly revenues of about 12 billions. Well, that's it basically, to make it short.
Very good. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to start off with the theme of digital, if I may. So the surveys that we've done with CEOs and CIOs, about 40% of all CEOs say that digital is one of the top boardroom agenda items that they have. And about 86% of the people that we surveyed also believe that their IT department is struggling or stifled by progressing in their digital transformation journey. What does digital mean to you and your business, and what are the challenges that you've got ahead of you?
We were not, I'm not going to say that we were born digital. The company has 15 years existence, and a lot of the core is still based on contracting the best rates with hotels, but technology was really early at the core of the company. For us, digital, I guess, is a two-pronged approach. On one hand, is trying to reduce costs by automating as much as possible a lot of the back office functions that we have, and then looking at the top line, trying to increase that with tools that we give to the travel agents, for instance, so through a website, but also trying to deploy new business models. So really, for us, digital is about moving faster, quicker, and it comes with its own set of threats as well, like cybersecurity and others that I'm sure we'll cover.
Mm-hmm. Philippe?
Yes, from the Solvay side, we definitely were not born digital. It was more than 150 years ago. What I can observe from the last 2-3 years is really a real excitement about digital, but not a very clear strategy. So there are really digital mushrooms popping up here and there, which makes our life definitely a bit difficult, because I can tell you that we have a solid infrastructure roadmap with all what we can anticipate already in, with, still a few question marks, but we have the big one is how can we include those digital initiatives and how we will be able to react in a fast way, because you cannot predict what will happen, or at least not the order of magnitude of what will happen in the next months.
Mm. So I'm interested in digging a bit deeper on that one, if I may. So why are you so focused on digital? What are the market drivers, the internal drivers? What's driving you towards this journey?
Well, it's definitely about speed and optimization. So again, a long time ago, we had very strong recipes. We were sure about our industrial processes and products, and then progressively services. But know the way to interact with customers, for instance. If you do not go digital, you will be very quickly a late runner, and then you will just lose competitive advantage. So it's not only about cost savings, it's mainly about being able to be more reactive. And in an industrial context, it's definitely about, okay, how do we optimize quasi-real time in our plants? And that is about Capturous IoT, and I'm sure we are going to speak a bit later about the impact on that, on our infrastructure, on our network. But it's definitely that. It's speed, reactivity, especially in front of our customers.
So agility as well. Yeah, that's really
agility for the business, and then for our network as well.
Yeah. I have to say, you mentioned earlier the digital mushrooms. I was thinking of that I'm not entirely happy with Gartner because they've legalized the shadow IT by calling it citizenship development, which makes our life a little bit harder now because it's something that we have to deal with. But it's definitely part of the changes that are happening day to day on the network and on our platforms.
Mm-hmm. Bas, you speak to many customers globally on almost a daily basis as well. What are the key trends you're seeing, and why are customers so focused on digital transformation in your view as well?
Yeah, I think it's 100% in line with what Philippe just said. I think everybody deals with uncertainty of, am I going fast enough? Am I implementing the right technology at the right? Is my competition actually doing something better than we do? Am I manufacturing processes efficient enough? There's so much hype that most CIOs that I talk to are being approached by people that have no knowledge of IT whatsoever, but have seen something sexy and said, oh, why don't we make our company like Amazon? And I think it's that dynamic that we try to help our customers with, to basically split the hype from reality and make sure that we make a really good balance between, what is actually going to increase your speed and increase your efficiency, and what does that do to your risk profile in the organization? Mm-hmm. And I must say it differs all across companies. I mean, we've worked with a very large, fast-moving company around the globe to bring them entirely up to SD-WAN for quite a while. And at the end, they basically said, we're not going to do it because the risk profile is too high, and the cost of transformation is actually not as good as we thought. So they didn't do it. About a month later, they had a huge DDoS attack, and they said, "Thank God for MPLS," because otherwise we would have been in trouble. Yeah. But it's those types of insecurity, I think, everybody is dealing with, and there's no single answer for all those people.
Understand. What are the other trends you guys are seeing in terms of growth of traffic, managing branch networks, multiple suppliers, ecosystems, etc.? Is there anything else that's coming through that's driving your business to go for more of the efficiency and agility that you've talked about?
For us, we are at the moment receiving about 700 million requests per day, and this is exponentially growing year on year.
From end customers, so
from our end customers, which are travel agents, tour operators, and online travel agents. So this is a huge number. What happens is that a lot of the clients that we have could be meta searches like Trivago or TripAdvisor, and these guys will send us a request, but also will send it to Orbitz or Amoma. And these guys also send us the same request because they're also connected to us, and everybody's connected to everybody. So as a result, we might get the same request 70, 80 times or more. And because of IoT and a lot of the devices, a lot of the things that Bas mentioned earlier, then we see Cortana, Siri, all these intelligent agents in your phones, when they suggest that when you go to Paris, you could stay here or there, they come to our platform to find out what are the prices and the availability. So that's also making an explosion in the traffic. And then in terms of managing branches and stuff, we're seeing the need of having very different types of, for instance, security in different branches. In some areas that you only need to have a firewall and an antivirus, and then in another, and then the rest managed from headquarters. In another office, you might need a full threat protection because of the services that you have there. And being able to deploy that the traditional way is quite complex.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be honest, I do not have a clear answer to your question. I mean, yes, the explosion is coming. We try, or we have been used to try really to forecast, to extrapolate about internet traffic. We have been a very early adopter of Google Apps for Enterprise. It was 2011. I mean, this is the type of things that we are mastering. We have made a huge investment in the video services, so we are able to extrapolate what will be the needs. When it is about digitalization, it's really another story. And we are making proof of concepts, we are making pilots. Impossible, it's fail fast. This is one of the buzzwords about digital. It's just that even when you succeed, you are not sure that it will be then valid for the rest of the group. We have different business units. So even if you succeed, to say, will it stay with that business unit, or will it suddenly explode in 12 months there or somewhere else? So this is why, okay, I've been told about SD1 not that a long time ago. We are expecting a lot for that.
Let's chat a bit about SD-WAN. You both have mentioned it unprompted already. We did some research actually with a leading analyst organisation, one that's hosting us all over the next few days. And all the companies that we spoke to, there was about 4% that are actively in a deployment of SD-WAN technologies. So is this all hype, or is this reality? Or what's your views on it?
I think we are definitely not in the 4%. That's for sure today. It's coming, and to be honest, in front of these new type of challenges, which is about agility, not forgetting the security, as Bas mentioned, we need something different than what we have. And so what we have understood until now is that it could be the solution, or at least a part of that solution. And so, yes, probably next year we are going to pilot something, not yet defined how, but we need to have this first results in order to better define what will be really the evolution of our WAN services for the next 5 years.
Can I just ask you, what is the problem that you're trying to solve with SD-WAN type capabilities?
Agility. Definitely, agility is really important. So as we cannot forecast a lot, when something will happen, definitely we need to be more agile than we are today. This is, to me, the key point. If we better allocate network resources according to our needs, which is not always the case today, it's a bit a generic service. If we are able really to have classes of sites, and then to protect them, or to have them different levels of performance that you can really drive quasi real time. This is what we believe might really contribute to the challenge we have in front of us.
Excellent.
I mean, for us, it's also agility. We have a very seasonal business, so because people normally book their holidays, we have basically a peak in January, then goes up, another peak in June for the summer vacation, and basically the low season for us is basically October, November, December. So that's one of the reasons why I'm here, because it's the only time I have to be able to do this type of thing.
Nice of Gartner to organise this around your seasonality.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very nice of them. But basically, we have to deploy thousands of servers in 3 months or 2.5 months, which is which is not easy. So anything that we can do to accelerate that definitely helps. And that's one of the main reasons. But also agility or flexibility in terms of being able to use different transport protocols on top of SD-WAN and mix MPLS, 4G LTE, Wi-Fi, whatever it is, security that we talked about. Intelligent planning generally is also something, because we can't always deploy the right resources at the right time. Being able to plan in advance and being able to move the traffic in a better way based on application needs or something like that would be something that we'd welcome.
Okay. I'm going to move on and sort of segue with SD-WAN onto security, if I may. We have a security session on tomorrow at 10, so this is not a full-blown security conversation, but we can't never talk about IT, network infrastructure without mentioning security. Now, that is playing an even more important role, as all of you have mentioned already. How will that play a part in your decision about what your future hybrid network may look like?
Well, for sure, for some certain category of sites, we need to be at very, very high level. So again, granularity in the security might be important. This is point one. Second, I mentioned we have been early adopters of Google Apps. I can tell you that at that time it was already difficult to convince our people to put their data on the cloud. And I can tell you that now, especially in the industrial world, this is really intellectual property. So just to have this type of data running on the network without being sure that it will be protected is another challenge. So definitely an SD-WAN without the good security features, then we just have to forget about it. I mean, a service provider like BT or any other good one, if they do not succeed to be secure enough or to provide security parts in their services, they will die. So I trust that definitely it will happen. One more thing which is a bit more specific to Solvay is that, okay, you know about cyber criminality is at the agenda of the executive committee, for sure, like everywhere. But our recent acquisition is in the aerospace business. So now our main customer is Boeing, but we have also Lockheed, so which means that we are dealing with the Ministry of Defense in the US. So there is an ITAR regulation that it's a lot about everything, but for sure about security. And so just with this new acquisition, it's sure that security is, in our case, at the agenda. It's a very important investment. We cannot fail to well integrate them and to have a return on that investment.
Very good. There's a lot of talk yesterday at the keynote, quite rightly, about capabilities, and especially people capabilities and skills in the new digital environment. And they sort of, Gartner classified things into mode 1 and mode 2. Obviously, you've only got mode 2 people on the stage and obviously in the audience as well. But we do have a lot of mode 1 people in all of our organizations. What sort of investments are you making and skills are you investing in to make sure we've got the right balance of mode 1 and mode 2 people going forward?
I mean, for us, we're mainly following the three approaches that I mentioned on the keynote. So one, we're enhancing and trying to improve the skill set of our people, mainly around DevOps, security, machine learning or artificial intelligence, all those areas, which basically they're pervasive to everything else. I find that our operations teams are normally the ones that are harder to move to this new world because software developers, by definition, they are already used to software-defined networks. But the traditional operations guys are a bit more complex to bring along the journey. Diversity in terms of bringing people from many different backgrounds and being able to integrate them into these teams and becoming I call them the rabbits that chase a lot faster, and then the others try to follow through. And then the last one is just expand with external talent. So people from your organization, from BT, from consulting companies, etc.
Very good.
On our side, the context is that, we are with managed network services now for 15 years. So we have always tried to keep the right level of expertise internally, otherwise you are never able to challenge your partners, and that is important. So which means that we have already reached the minimum level. By domain, we have 1, 2, sometimes 3 experts, not more for the whole group. Our challenge, we are definitely not going to insource because it is SD-WAN. It's too late. We are too far in our journey, so we will really have to identify in terms of technology what is the type of skills, not only technology, perhaps also the way we are going to manage the services together with our partners will evolve. And it's really more in terms of service delivery that I will pay special attention to be sure that the teams are going to evolve that way. Even that will evolve. Like it evolved from a traditional messaging system and suddenly to have Google Apps in front of you. It's a huge evolution, perhaps not that order of magnitude for the dynamic managed services of tomorrow or of today, by the way, but that will be our point of attention.
Very good. Now, you mentioned partnerships quite a lot, and you also refer to ecosystems in that last answer. And you'll have seen from what we showed as Cloud to Cloud that we very much fundamentally believe on an ecosystem, being agnostic and giving people as much choice and flexibility as possible, but also driving scale. Now, I'm interested in what your ecosystems are in your organization and how you manage them going forward in a digital environment.
We have the data center with yourselves in one of the business units. We have another one with DXC and with Equinix as well. So some of the other partners that you have in the cloud of clouds slide that we saw earlier. We're using both Amazon and Azure for our big data platform and part of our all of our development environments, and then part of our production platform as well. We're using Oracle Cloud as well for some of the databases and middleware that we use. So pretty much, I think I was trying to see if there was any name in the slide that we didn't use, but I think we have most of them really. In terms of how we manage them, basically we have people that are specifically looking after each one of the partners, and then people that are cross experts per domain, and then they will basically set the boundaries and the guardrails on enterprise architecture, etc., to see how we can manage it. And then we work together with you quite closely on weekly, monthly meetings to make sure that we are all looking after the same KPIs, the same objectives, etc., etc.
Very good.
Well, in terms of architecture, the three pillars at Solvay are Google, already mentioned, Salesforce, and SAP. Okay, the two first ones are already on the cloud. SAP will go to the cloud, and for all the rest of the bunch of applications, we have an initiative, and in terms of hosting, we will go to the cloud. In terms of workstation, beside the traditional Windows 10, we have an initiative with a Chromebook-like device with a lot of application virtualization. So it's again the cloud. So our point of attention, and I'm glad to see that the main names are on that slide, is to be sure that there is a good partnership between our partners. Yeah. And that is really key for us, because at one point in time, there is something that will happen in the cloud kitchen that we do not know about, and it's just important that it's just transparent, and that we do not have to put our fingers there.
Very good. Listen, we've got the last 5 minutes left, so I'm going to give you each 90 seconds to get your views and your advice to any of your peers in the room about managing digital transformation, networks, security, anything you feel that you can impart that will be of value. Who wants to start?
I can do it. My only point, because it's not good to come with too many messages, is skills, skills, and skills. I mean, it's true at the business level, definitely, and it's even more true at the business level. But from an IT perspective, I know the pyramid of age of our IT staff. We have something to do, or we have two ways to do it. Or we fire a lot of people and we hire new ones, but the new ones are very. The market is quite hot on that one. So our option today is more really to continue to invest on our people, to change a bit their mindset, knowing that the real challenge in terms of changing the mindset is at our internal customers' side. We are going to succeed with our IT staff. But to me, it's my only message.
For me, I think it's in similar vein. It's start small, but give your teams some projects to play with and learn about things. And let them fail, let them learn, and that way you increase the talent pool internally, but also you don't stop on your journey to digitization.
Very good. Bas, anything else you want to add?
No, I think I made my points in the beginning. I totally agree with both of you. I do think on the skills point, we see that some customers that really want to move fast take the leap and say, hey, I trust a particular company to do a specific piece of work for me, and I'm going to allow myself not to have any of these skills internally and let these suppliers run with it. I do think there is an opportunity for some organizations to go faster in transforming into this digital world, to pick a few best of breed companies you fully trust you also understand your company, and that do have an abundance of these scarce skills that you need. And then let them run with it within a particular boundary in an area where you can mitigate the risk. I think that's really important, because I think the traditional way of us transforming into this new digital world is going to be too slow, too cumbersome, and it's not going to make the difference. I think the companies that can get that right, the balance between risk and speed, by doing that, I think they will win.
Okay. So one-word answers. What's the thing that you worry about the most in this digital transformation journey, in one word? Who would like to start?
Security.
He took my word.
He took my
Risk,
word.
risk, I think, yeah.
Risk and security.
Oh,
Very good.
absolutely.
Listen, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it, and thank you all for coming along today. Hopefully we've given you a little bit of insight into some of the trends in the market, some of the issues and the challenges that people are wrestling with going forward in trying to navigate their way through this digital transformation. From a BT perspective, we very much would like to help. Bas gave an overview of our dynamic network services and how we fully believe that a hybrid approach going forward will be the right balance and the right shape. And also the cloud infrastructure, which shows what choice and flexibility it gives you